This is Mission Control Koryoff. For those just joining us on the public channel of NASA television, we have been reporting on the media channel for the past few minutes that the leak checks are continuing at the docking interface between the newly arrived Soyuz MS-03 vehicle with Peggy Whitson, Oleg Novitskiy, and Thomas Pesquet aboard. So far, so good with all of those leak checks. They're in the final stages of that activity. Then we'll see the pressurization of the passageway between the Soyuz and the International Space Station at that docking interface. That will be the precursor to the opening of the hatch between Soyuz and Rosviet, enabling Whitson, Pesquet, and Novitskiy to enter their orbital home for the next several months. This is Mission Control Koryoff. Peggy Whitson, Oleg Novitskiy, and Thomas Pesquet are just minutes away from entering the International Space Station. With us in the early morning hours of Sunday morning here in Koryoff. We're honored to be joined by NASA Administrator Charles Bolden, who was down in Baikonur 2 days ago for the launch of this crew, and who's with us this morning to watch them expand the Expedition 50 crew. Charlie, thanks for joining us with the docking having been completed and with this trio now preparing to enter the station on this, the 18th anniversary of the launch of the first module of the complex. How significant is that in your mind, and how far has the facility come in almost 2 decades?
I think it's an incredible accomplishment that's occurred over the last decade and a half plus, Rob. And I think, as you know, it's 16 years running now of continuous occupancy of the International Space Station, which speaks volumes about the value of international cooperation, and it speaks volumes about our international partnerships that we have.
What do you think has been the major accomplishment of the International Space Station over the past 18 years? There have been many high marks, but in your mind, what is the major accomplishment?
I think the biggest thing is the principal accomplishment that causes me to always call for ISS to be considered for the Nobel Peace Prize, and that is the fact that we've demonstrated that international collaboration in people from various cultures and countries and ways of thinking focused on a single mission, what can be accomplished for the good of the world when that happens. I think we on the International Space Station are a model for the rest of the world to follow.
Where do you think we can take this bond, this international cooperation, in terms of future exploration?
You know, I think it's endless or boundless what we can do. And another example I'd give you, I was reviewing my last day and a half, 2 days, a successful Soyuz launch from Baikonur, carrying my dear friend Peggy Whitson. A Soyuz rendezvous and docking just minutes ago tonight. Goes our launch for our partners NOAA from the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, Kennedy Space Center complex. All of that trying to do things that make life better for people here on this planet, while also helping us to chart our course to distances far away from low Earth orbit. I think that's all very, very important. If I want to point out a thing of value of international cooperation, I think it's the bonds of friendship that are formed by what we do. Just 23 years ago, this coming February, 3 people who never knew each other before, Peggy Whitson, Charlie Bolden, and Sergei Krikalev, came together as members of the team of STS-60, the first joint Russian-American shuttle mission. At that time, Peggy was one of our principal investigators, and when we launched, she witnessed Sergei and me burst into space. And I thought it was just phenomenal yesterday morning, for Sergei and me to be able to carry her or walk with her to the spacecraft, see her get aboard, and then see her lift off. And I'm just looking forward to having an opportunity to talk to her for a few minutes when the hatches open tonight. She is an absolutely incredible role model for women everywhere in the world, and I could not be more proud than to be able to call her a friend and colleague.
And Charlie, of course, she will break Jeff Williams' record for most days in space by a U.S. astronaut if all goes as planned on April 24th of next year. In the meantime, a lot of work lies ahead. What do you think about this time, one of the busiest periods in station history?
I tell you, there are a lot of challenges ahead. However, I could not feel more confident about the team that's in place that is carrying this out. If anybody ever wanted evidence of what can be done when people are focused on a single mission, and right now, that long-range mission is to get humans to Mars. There is a conglomeration of multiple nations in the world who have come together and have said the International Space Station is going to be our toehold on the rest of the universe, and that we're going to use it to the best of our ability, maximize its utilization, to learn as much as we can about the human body and about technologies necessary to get humans to Mars. And that's what we're doing. And I think as long as we stay focused as an international collaborative, the political and diplomatic changes and trauma that goes on down here on Earth, I think we can survive that, because as we have demonstrated, whether you're looking at incursions by one of our partners into other countries, that has not deterred or slowed the work that we've done on the International Space Station, and I look to that to be the case for years to come.
And finally, as we turn the page on this calendar year, how do we see the state of the agency as NASA prepares to enter a new era of human spaceflight, as well as an eye on breaking out of low Earth orbit to travel to deep space and beyond?
I have said to our employees a number of times, and when I talk about to our family, to the NASA family, which includes the contractors and our international partners, I've said it several times, and I'll say it here. The state of NASA today is strong. It's stronger than it's ever been, I believe, and I think it is that way because of the bonds and the partnerships that we form, not just with international partners, but now with entrepreneurial, academic, commercial partners, all of whom are pulling in the same direction with the goal of eventually getting humans to Mars. We're all necessary. It is going to be critical for our commercial partners to be able to step in and do the work of providing access to low Earth orbit, gradually helping with providing habitats and laboratory facilities in low Earth orbit. And then as we migrate out in the decade of the 20s to cislunar space and the proving ground as a next step to Mars, having the commercial and entrepreneurial partners come along behind us and help us to establish ways, I would hope, to get to the lunar surface while we're en route to Mars, because that's something that commercial and entrepreneurial entities have talked about for decades now. We have the capability to make them successful or to facilitate their success. I think it's now up to them to take advantage of the opportunity that we present and to actually begin to produce vehicles that will get humans to the lunar surface, while we work with Orion and SLS and our other international partner vehicles to get humans to the surface of Mars.
NASA Administrator Charles Bolden with us this morning here at the Russian Mission Control Center. Charlie, thanks so much for joining us, and safe travels back to Washington.
Rob, thank you. And I will, since I'm talking about old friendships, you and I were just reminiscing. I remember the Rob Nevius from UPI, who was a big friend of the space program and a fan, and then eventually became a member of the Prime family when you moved over and became a part of us as a NASA employee. So it's been my incredible pleasure to work with you from long, long days ago, and I look forward to many more days. Take care.
Back at you, Charlie. Thanks so much. It has been a wonderful journey, and many more steps yet to come. Thanks so much.
Just like you were opening them the first time around, do you understand what I'm saying? Copy all. Copy and concur. We're on our way to open the hatch. You are go. No camera, though. Copy. No camera.
Back here at the Russian Mission Control Center, we are expecting the crew on the station side of the docking interface between the International Space Station and the Rassvet module to open their side of the hatch interface just a short time from now. And we'll stand by, of course, for the opening of the Soyuz hatch. We hope that will occur once we have acquired our downlink television capability through the tracking and data relay satellite system about 14 minutes from now. So we'll keep you posted as we go along. The leak checks are now complete. The vestibule has been pressurized between Rassvet and the International Space Station. And again, we're standing by for the opening of the station hatch on the station side of the docking interface.
Понял.
МТС по Москве, ВСГ-2 для Андрея или Сергея.
Station Moscow, space to ground 1, space to ground 2 for Andrei or Sergey. Go ahead.
Сергей, я немного
Hey, Sergey.
054 это конец,
was wrong.
029.
0029 is the
Устойчивый прием,
is when we're going to get stable comm. 0054 is when we're going to go LOS. So by 1/2 you should be ready for the TV or the PO event, basically.
Да, тут
Copy.
54 это крайняя точка.
Yeah, 54 is when we're going to go LOS, actually. So I misspoke entirely during a previous call. Copy all.
This is Mission Control Koryov as you look at a view from the balcony camera overlooking the cavernous flight control room, and now an external view from cameras on the International Space Station. We're standing by for the opening of the hatches between the two vehicles.
Station Moscow, space to ground 2, regarding the hatch opening steps. Go ahead.
Сергей, как там процесс у вас идет?
Sergey, can you status us on the hatch opening procedure?
Да, открыт люк.
Hatch is open.
Люк уже открыт.
Oh, hatch is open then.
Как бегство по Москве?
You bet.
Back in Moscow.
Copy.
Go ahead.
Well, in that case, we're just standing by for the
Oleg,
Soyuz
we have
side
only
hatches to be open. Well, there's
3
about
minutes.
4 minutes remaining on the clock.
actually,
Yeah, they're finishing their
already
equalization steps.
the hatch on their side.
Don't
so
turn
you
anything
should
on by way of
proceed
cameras. Just
with
wait
your
for
steps for
a
our
final
go.
go on that. You bet. Standing by. Not doing anything.
And you are listening to that conversation between Russian flight controllers here in Korolyov and the crew inside the International Space Station, most notably Andrei Borisenko, as we are standing by for the final few steps of the pressure equalization in the small passageway between the two craft, the Soyuz, that arrived for a docking at 3:58 p.m. Central Time, 4:58 p.m. Eastern Time. Within minutes after that, hooks closed from the Soyuz on the Rosviet module's docking system to form a hard mate. The past couple of hours or so have been spent with leak checks to make sure we have an airtight seal between the two vehicles. That has been completed, and we're just waiting for our downlink video and audio capability from the station to lock up before we see the opening of the hatch and the arrival on board the station of Peggy Whitson, Oleg Novitskiy, and Thomas Pesquet.
You should deactivate the hard line,
Я понял. Спасибо.
the relay com, and you translate into the station. Guys, since we won't get a chance to talk after the hatches are open, I just wanted to tell you what you're supposed to do after the hatches are open. All right? I am ready. And I'm ready to write it down. All right, so after you open the hatches, please deactivate all com assets in the Soyuz. The page is page 96 in the final approach book. So you have to deactivate the duplex radio.
As we listen to the instructions about the post-hatch opening deconfiguration and shutdown of the Soyuz systems once it is placed on International Space Station power for the duration of its stay at the Rosviet module, you're looking at a great picture of the orbital ATK Cygnus cargo craft that arrived on the station about 4 weeks ago, delivering several tons of supplies and experiments to the crew members on the station. You can see the Canadarm2 robotic arm grappled onto the grapple fixture on the Cygnus. It will be detached from the Earth-facing port of the Unity module of the International Space Station early Monday morning, and then with Shane Kimbrough at the controls of the station's robotic arm from the cupola, backed up by European Space Agency astronaut Thomas Pesquet, they are going to release the Cygnus from the grasp of the Canadarm2 at 7:20 a.m. Central Time Monday morning. It will drift to a distance away from the International Space Station for its deorbit and entry back into the Earth's atmosphere on November 27th, where it will burn up harmlessly over the Pacific Ocean. And now you can see the passageway in the Rosviet module looking at the hatch of the Soyuz MS-03 as we stand by for Andrei Borisenko and his crewmates, Shane Kimbrough, the station commander, and Sergei Ryzhikov to begin the process of standing by as the Soyuz hatch is open from the inside of the spacecraft that docked to the International Space Station, an automated docking that occurred perfectly without any issues whatsoever at 3:58 p.m. Central Time, 4:58 p.m. Eastern Time.
We need to move
As you said before, Andrew, on multiple occasions, that's exactly the expectation.
Right.
Have you already downlinked the docking video? Yeah, we already put that on OC.
Check the MV once again.
Okay, excellent.
How is it going?
795.
795, and it is slowly...
Hey, Vladimir, should we rotate the camera by 90 degrees, or is this good? Yeah, please don't. Just leave it as is. It's good. Yeah, with the...
Not there yet.
with the deck being, down below and the overhead being up where the ceiling should be, please don't change that.
Like we've been huffing and puffing in here.
Балкон весь полный, так что сейчас картинка будет на большом экране уже.
All right, the folks on the balcony are jumping at the bit. You know, the balcony is full, so everybody's excited. Please don't move the camera. Not moving the camera.
Чуть-чуть есть.
Just a tad.
А так больше нигде нету.
That, nowhere else.
Нигде, да?
Nowhere?
Везде сухо.
Dry everywhere. It's good.
On the Soyuz side of that hatch, just behind that hatch, Oleg Novitskiy is in the final few steps of preparing for the opening of that hatch. That will enable he, Peggy Whitson, and Thomas Pesquet to float inside the International Space Station. Once inside, they will move to the Zvezda service module in the familiar setting, along with Kimbrough, Ryzhikov, and Borisenko, to accept congratulatory calls from VIPs, friends and family members gathered on the balcony here in the Russian Mission Control Center. We're just minutes away from the opening of the hatch.
Олег, подскажи давление
Oleg,
по моновакууме.
what's the current pressure on the MV? We're just being very curious.
777.
777.
Неплохо.
Not too bad.
Наверное.
I guess so.
Мы тебя видим уже на большом экране изображения. Помахай нам.
Yeah, we can see you on the big screen. Please wave back.
Надо было помахать?
Did you need me to wave?
Да ладно, ну уже ушел с кадра.
It's too late now that you're out of the frame. Don't bother waving.
И балкон.
Yeah, it's because all the folks on the balcony are watching the big screen and you on the big screen, so we wanted you to wave. Don't have to bother with that now.
This is Mission Control Korolyov standing by for the three crew members who have been aboard the International Space Station for the past month, that being Shane Kimbrough, the station commander from NASA, along with his Russian cosmonaut colleagues, Sergei Ryzhikov and Andrei Borisenko. They'll be right at that hatchway, standing by for the opening of the hatch by Oleg Novitskiy, who is just completing a few steps before he opens the hatch to allow him, as well as his crewmates Peggy Whitson and Thomas Pesquet from the European Space Agency, to float inside to be greeted and then to move in the passageway to the Zvezda service module to accept congratulatory calls from a crowd that is gathered on the balcony of the Russian Mission Control Center. And you can see on the balcony here in the Russian Mission Control Center, in the middle of your screen, NASA Administrator Charles Bolden in the tan jacket, and to the left is Sergei Krikalev, the famed Russian cosmonaut who flew with Bolden in 1994 on the STS-60 mission, which Bolden commanded, a shuttle mission that featured one of the first times that a Russian cosmonaut flew on the shuttle as a precursor to activity involved with the Shuttle Mir program that segued into the International Space Station program. Also on the balcony is David Parker from the European Space Agency, their head of human spaceflight. They'll all be getting on the phone to greet the crew members who will arrive on board the International Space Station just momentarily once the hatches are open.
Station Moscow, space to ground 2. Go ahead.
What it does.
Hey, Andrew, they're at 770 for pressure. I believe they're about to start opening the hatch. Expecting your assistance with that. Not now.
Well, it's going down
Just
a little
give you a heads up.
It's 770
Okay.
sharp.
Stand by for now.
Well, so we're standing
Take up.
by. We are.
Вы считали, сколько раз вода сработала за
Right? Have you counted how many times you got the water
Сначала читали, потом сбились.
alarm
Срабатывает, не знаю.
go off? Well, we've been counting at first, but then we just lost count.
Я думал,
I guess you set a record for like water alarm activation.
Сейчас вот нашел
Right.
капельку на КР-1.
That's interesting because we found a tiny drop on KR-1. But when we checked KR-1 during orbital flight, we did not see any water. It was dry. Oh, maybe something with a gas analyzer.
Так, ну вот минута
All right.
прошла, 770 стоит.
6,
Я засекал.
770. 1 minute down. It's still
Moscow Station, space to
770.
ground 2.
I was watching the clock.
Go ahead.
All right.
Space to ground 2, Andrei.
After we hit 0339,
Hey,
close
Nikolai.
the Kakate, open,
Are
cover
you
this.
getting the audio from the camera mic?
So I
No, not
have
yet,
literally
not yet,
half a minute
not
to
yet.
say goodbye to you.
Copy.
Guys, I am so happy that you got
You should be
station
soon.
safe and sound. It was
As
a
long as you go
successful
space to
flight.
ground 1.
Well, we are.
Yep, we
Even
understand that
more
we're going to be
glad.
space to ground 1 for the
And
actual.
guys, it's been a pleasure to be working with you. Everything went phenomenally, and let's hope it stays this way for the rest of your mission.
В этом твоя заслуга.
Well, it's all,
Самую малость разве что. Так, и напомни,
we can blame you for that.
УПЛ на планшет.
Right, on the,
Здорово. Такого еще не было, будет любопытно посмотреть.
just,
Если вам удобно, Николай.
could you please check the PPL on the tablets, but if it's too much to ask, guys, don't worry.
Заканчиваем.
Да, захлопнем.
Toma, don't forget, I won't.
Да, 39 минут.
39 minutes. The pressure is
770 ровно стоит на месте.
770.
Открываем ККТ.
We're closing the KKT.
Закрыт.
Closed.
Закрываем КВД.
Closing KVD.
Закрыт.
Closed.
Принял.
This is Mission Control Korolyov. You just heard a brief conversation between the off-going Soyuz shift flight director here at the Russian Control Center, saying words of congratulations to the Soyuz commander, Oleg Novitskiy, who was in the center seat in the descent module of the Soyuz, watching over all of the automated engine firings and the approach of the Soyuz for its docking to the Rossviet module that occurred not quite 3 hours ago. And now we see Andrei Borisenko of the Expedition 50 crew as we are standing by for hatch opening.
О,
There you go.
командиры.
There we go.
And the Soyuz hatch is opened at 6:40 p.m. Central Time, 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time, standing by for the entrance the newly arrived crew members into the International Space Station. Oleg Novitskiy, the Soyuz commander, first inside on this, the 18th anniversary of the launching of the first element, the Zarya module of the International Space Station. Thomas Pesquet of the European Space Agency now inside, being greeted by his new crewmates. And Peggy Whitson beginning her third long-duration stay on board the International Outpost.
Андрей, well,
MRM1 ups, move on to MRM2, meeting space service module.
The crew members now will make their way into the Zvezda service module. Again, all the crew members are now on board. Expedition 50 is a 6-person crew.
Shut down the cameras and move on to the service module. We'll take care of all the switching that is required to be done, and we'll pick it up in the service module by the time you guys have gathered there, and all our steps are complete. Copy, on our way.
Now inside the Zvezda service module, Oleg Novitskiy and Thomas Pesquet awaiting the other crew members to gather into their positions. They'll don headsets and will accept the congratulatory calls from the dignitaries gathered on the balcony here in the Russian Mission Control Center. Again, the hatch opening occurring at 6:40 p.m. Central Time, 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time.
One thing though, guys, can you tilt the camera down just a tad? Or leave it like that, whatever.
МКС, типа Москвы, Андрей.
ISS MCC Moscow, Andrei.
Вот так достаточно.
Yes, I think this looks good.
Да, хорошо, принято.
Okay, copy.
Все уже зажали.
Сейчас мы успеем.
Everybody's waiting.
Да,
You can
понятно.
start.
Сейчас у нас
Okay,
все члены
understand.
экипажа подойдут, и мы
We're
начнем.
waiting for all the crew members to join us, and then we can start.
Я понял. Ждем всех членов.
Understand, we're going to wait for all crew members.
As the crew members continue to gather in the Zvezda service module, they'll all be there just a moment or two from now. Once again, leaning over the balcony for a closer look, Sergei Krikalev, sitting next to his former shuttle commander, Charlie Bolden, the NASA administrator, here on the balcony of the Russian Mission Control Center, as we stand by for congratulatory calls from them, as well as family and friends who are gathered here in the early morning hours of this Sunday morning.
That's sufficient.
Мы готовы.
MCC Moscow, we're ready.
Начинаем.
Let's proceed.
Ребята, как нас слышите?
Guys, how do you read us?
Хорошо слышим.
We read you loud and clear. How us?
Хорошо слышим
We read you loud and clear, and we can see you. Please have a good video. Guys, this is Sergei Krikalev speaking. I'm glad to see you in good health and in a good mood. Congratulations to the arriving crew. First part of your flight has gone well. Good docking, and you're on board of the station. And congratulations to the guys who were waiting for you, who you're joining now. We're wishing you to complete good work, and I'm going to pass the microphone to the next speaker.
Peggy, this is Charlie Bolden from NASA, and I just joined Sergei and all the crew here and congratulating you on finally being there on station. I know it's really special. Tomorrow you've got a huge crowd down here, so don't screw it up. And Peggy, I just wanted to say one thing special to you. You know, as you reminded us, 23 years ago in February, as my mentor, you watched this guy sitting next to me, Sergei Krikalev, and me go off into space, and we wanted to do well for you. We were very proud to be in Baikonur, walk you to the vehicle, and then watch you go off into space. And now watching you, we could not be more proud. So all three of you, all six of you actually, have a great time in the months ahead. We're all proud of you. Hello, everyone.
Thanks so much, Charlie. We're really happy to be here.
Félicitations à vous, Thomas. I convey the congratulations and the greetings
of Jan Werner, the Director General of the European Space Agency. He is watching you from Paris. You're the first ESA astronaut, French nationality, to go to the ISS in 2008. You're the first to do it in the era of Twitter, and I know you're going to excite and inspire many young people. So good luck with your work, good luck with the science, and I'd love to know what the flight was like compared to your expectations, compared to flying on Air France.
Thanks, Dave. We'll do our best to get a lot of work done. And,
Peggy, congratulations, Lionel. Congratulations, Peggy. Thomas, quelques mots en français, c'est Lionel qui te parle. Bonjour. Je sais qu'il y a eu de très nombreux Français qui ont assisté à votre magnifique lancement. C'était magnifique. Partout dans la France, des gens sont mobilisés pour voir ce lancement. C'était superbe. Pour sûr, ils sont encore très nombreux ce soir à regarder votre arrivée dans la station. Et c'est en leur nom à tous que je veux tout simplement te souhaiter une excellente mission, un bon vol, et profitez-en bien. Tu sais que le CNES et le CADMOS est avec toi et derrière toi. Bon vol.
merci Lionel, merci à tous les gens qui ont regardé, merci au CNES, au CADMOS, et puis on va faire de notre mieux pour avoir le plus de résultats possible en 6 mois.
Oleg, well, tell us how you were flying, how you were docking, how are your, what are your impressions after the long absence on board of the station? We're very happy. Well, the entire process of the approach at the in close range, yes, we were nervous. Yes, we saw this process. We'll look at what was going on, but the automatics worked well, so we're very happy for you. Peggy, congratulations to you on your one more stay on board of the station. Previous flight of mine was right after your increment, and I'm very glad to see that you keep flying and you continue to make your contribution to the development of space exploration. Thank you. I would like to give an opportunity to the families to talk to you. They're here with us in Mission Control. They're glad to see you, and I'm going to give the microphone to your families. Thank you. Hello? Oleg, dear, hello, this is Julia. Hi. Hello. Peggy and Tamar, hello. Hello to everyone. Hello, Julia. How was your flight? Oleg? Oleg, do you hear me? I hear you now. We don't have the video. We'll get it in about 20 seconds.
This is a brief handover between satellites on the tracking and data relay satellite system. We'll be reacquiring communications just a few seconds from now.
Moscow? Do you hear us? Yes, we hear you. Oleg, how was your flight? It was pretty good. Just 2 days our flight, and then we are on board the station. We're here. There are a lot of people here. We were watching your docking live. Rita fell asleep about 3 hours ago, and she was also waiting for you to dock. Poor child. Our friends and family members are asking, where is your toy set of crew members? Why didn't we see it? It's guarding our vehicle while we're here. All the cargo items are still in there. Okay, I'm going to let Yana talk to you now. Hello. Hello, Dad. How are you? How are you? Did you cry much? No crying at all. Well, I was hoping someone would cry. Well, we were all worried, of course, but we were being brave. Good job. That's why everything worked out very well. Well, you see, you all look much better than the first time around. Well, this time I'm used to it, you see. Did you fly well? Was everything okay? Yes, everything was well. It was great. We're in the large volume compartment, and so we're stretching our legs. Well, we're missing you already. Well, now you have to wait. Okay, we'll do. I'll let Grandma talk to you. Okay, let's talk to Grandma. Dear grandson, hello. Hello, my dear. Hello, Grandma. We're congratulating you and your entire crew with the launch, with docking, and everything went nominal. We're very glad. You have a wonderful crew. We were listening to the press conference. Answers to questions were great. And we, the Earthlings, need to follow your example. We need to all love each other. God give you good health to you and your crew and your colleagues. We're hoping you will always be such a well-built crew, friends to each other, every success. And we're wishing you to accomplish all the goals that were set for your crew. We have a lot of people waiting for their turn here, so I'm going to pass the mic to someone. And we love you very much, and we already started countdown to your return. Thank you very much from the entire crew.
Hello Thomas, c'est Anne. On est tous là avec les amis et la famille. J'ai du mal à croire que je te parle et que tu es en orbite à la station. C'est super de vous voir tous enfin arriver. On a vécu un moment incroyable au moment du décollage, c'était magnifique. On est tous très heureux de te voir et on espère que c'était pas trop long. Pour moi, 2 jours, c'était très long avant de pouvoir te parler et on espère que tu vas bien.
Oui, ça va très bien. Le décollage, ça a dû être spectaculaire pour vous. C'était spectaculaire pour nous aussi, mais un peu moins, parce que de l'intérieur, ça ressemble plus à ce qu'on a vécu au simulateur. 2 jours, non, c'est passé super vite. On a eu beaucoup de boulot. On a aussi pas mal dormi, parce qu'on était fatigués. Et puis, tout s'est enchaîné très vite. Les manœuvres orbitales, la phase de rendez-vous. Et puis voilà, on y arrive. J'ai un peu du mal à y croire moi-même, mais apparemment, c'est pour du vrai. Donc on a hâte de se mettre au travail. Et puis on est super contents.
Allô Thomas, c'est maman. Je suis très fière de te savoir là-bas. Je suis très heureuse de vous voir tous. Je vous souhaite un bon séjour là-haut, de belles expériences, que tout se passe très bien pour vous. Ça a été un spectacle inoubliable de vous voir décoller l'autre jour à Baïkonour. Et j'ai de très belles pensées pour vous tous les 6 que je vois en ce moment à l'écran.
Merci maman, on a une super équipe, tout va bien se passer, il ne faut pas s'inquiéter. Et puis voilà, je donnerai des nouvelles régulièrement. Et puis dans 6 mois, l'atterrissage on le fera moins spectaculaire mais aussi efficace.
Et bon, c'est ton papa. Donc aujourd'hui, en attendant le docking, on a visité Moscou avec une Nathalie comme dans la chanson de Gilbert Bécaud. C'était Anne et elle a assuré comme d'habitude. On a eu aussi 2 autres Nathalie pour visiter le musée des cosmonautes. Antoine s'est débrouillé comme un chef pour nous guider dans le métro. Et Aurélien s'est éclaté devant tous les satellites. Ça lui a rappelé l'époque de super-héros où vous faisiez les conférences et les visites dans la cité de l'espace. Je terminerai par une question. Je voulais juste savoir si tout ce qui s'est passé depuis 2 jours correspond à ce que tu as appris dans les entraînements. Est-ce qu'il y a eu des sensations nouvelles? Est-ce que quelque chose t'a étonné depuis le départ?
Non, mais je suis content que tout se passe bien pour vous. Non, ça ressemble beaucoup à ce qu'on a fait à l'entraînement, et c'est en ça que l'entraînement est bien fait. La seule chose, c'est que ça dure plus longtemps, ça dure 2 jours, et puis quand on regarde par la fenêtre, le paysage est magnifique. Même si on a une petite fenêtre dans le Soyuz, j'ai essayé d'en profiter, on est passé au sud Pacifique, j'ai vu des îles que j'ai essayé de dessiner sur ma documentation pour m'en rappeler, pour les retrouver plus tard, donc j'en ai déjà pris plein les yeux. On a volé comme ça, sortir de la nuit pour aller vers le lever de soleil qu'on prend plein dans les fenêtres du Soyuz, puis on voit la Terre se dessiner, donc ça c'est la vraie grosse différence, c'est que techniquement le travail c'est ce qu'on a appris depuis 7 ans, mais l'environnement il est complètement différent parce que là on est dans l'espace pour du vrai et ça c'est irremplaçable, ça met les étoiles sur les yeux.
Allô, Major Tom, c'est Baptiste. Bon, écoute, je voulais juste te dire qu'on a vécu des choses extraordinaires ces derniers jours en assistant à tout ça. Je sais aussi qu'en France, il y a plein de gens qui ont vécu à peu près les mêmes choses, les mêmes émotions. En ce moment, tu fais rêver plein de gens. Et je sais que tu vas continuer à les faire rêver pendant ta mission et ensuite. Donc je voulais juste te dire que j'étais vraiment très fier de mon petit frère. Et je te souhaite à toi ainsi qu'à tout l'équipage une très belle mission dans votre nouvelle maison.
Merci, c'est sympa, ça me touche beaucoup. On va faire de notre mieux, ouais, pour l'instant. C'est que le début, on est arrivé là, c'est déjà pas mal, mais il reste 6 mois de boulot et là les choses sérieuses commencent en fait. Et on va s'y mettre tout de suite en arrivant parce qu'il faut qu'on aille ranger notre Soyuz et ensuite commencer à lancer dès le samedi soir comme ça, au milieu de la nuit.
Peggy, this is John. I first want to tell you how great you look. You look like you're already having a great time. We are so proud of you, and we're so excited to be part of this great adventure. I want to wish you all the best from your extended family here in Moscow, and tell you that we're so excited that you're back at your home again, and that you are... we're just hoping that the tenants took good care of it for you before. We're wishing you all the best. We love you, and I'm turning it over to Sheila.
Okay,
Hey,
thanks,
girlfriend.
Appreciate
This is
you guys
Sheila.
being there. Hey, well, how did the launch look?
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. We were so proud and so happy of you, and like Clarence cheered when you guys launched, you go, girl! So, all the best on a wonderful mission, and thank you for all you do, for all of us, all of moving mankind forward. We're proud of you. I love you. Cheers, Sandy.
Thanks. I love you. Cheers, Sandy. Love you too. Hi, Peggy. This is Andy. I just wanted to tell you how proud that we are of you and how great you look. And I know you're excited about being there and all the projects that you're going to get done for them. I hope that they can keep you busy. Love you very much. Bye-bye. And here's Larry. Love you too, Sandy.
Hey, Peggy. Hey, Peggy, this is Larry. Want to wish all you guys congratulations on a good flight. And everybody's pretty much said everything except I hope they do keep you busy. And we love you, and we're going to be thinking about you. And hope everything is very successful for you guys. Love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Allô Thomas, c'est Laurent pour les Proxyman. Écoute, on est super heureux de te voir là dans la station. On t'a vu sortir du Soyuz avec un grand sourire. On sait que là tu accomplis les choses, tu accomplis ton rêve. Et on t'a vu avec la grande banane. On t'a vu décoller, on a crié, on a fait des yé, on a fait des wouh, on a fait des go Thomas. Et on avait une question à te poser qui nous a quand même taraudé pendant ces 48 heures. Et tu connais notre esprit scientifique. À la conférence de presse, tu as dit que tu allais jouer au dé avec tes collègues et on s'est demandé comment on pouvait jouer au dé en apesanteur. Alors j'aimerais bien que tu nous répondes à cette question, s'il te plaît.
Alors si je me rappelle bien, j'ai dit que j'en allais jouer aux cartes, mais effectivement j'ai aussi un jeu de dés. Jouer aux cartes, on a essayé, c'est pas facile parce que ça vole partout, donc on peut les coller sous des petits élastiques. Les dés, ça marche carrément pas. J'ai pensé à mettre des petits coins de velcro sur les faces du dé, mais on voit plus quelle face du dé on a. Donc les dés, c'est un échec total pour l'instant. Les cartes, c'est une semi-réussite, mais j'ai 6 mois pour y bosser et je me laisserai pas arrêter par les lois de la physique.
Guys, I don't know if you heard the loud applause on the balcony. Here we have a lot of mass media representatives, a lot of guests, a representation from the French team, and Thomas, your team came to Star City for basic training, and now you're the final of your group. Your entire class has gone to space. And I wanted to remind you that today on the 20th, many years ago, the first module of the station was launched, FGB was launched, and that's how the ISS started. And we started assembling it so we can celebrate the station's birthday today. And those who arrived for the first time and those who have been flying for a while and who have frequented the station before, we would like to wish you a good flight. Enjoy your work, and we'll continue working together. Good luck. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for all your support. Thank you, everyone.
This is Mission Control Korolyov with those final words by veteran Russian cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev to the crew on board the International Space Station, noting that the docking of the Soyuz MS-03, bringing Oleg Novitskiy, Peggy Whitson, and Thomas Pesquet to the station, occurring on this, the 18th anniversary of the launching of the first element of the station, the Zarya module, or FGB, which lifted off from the Baikonur Cosmodrome on November 20th, 1998, atop a Proton rocket to begin the era of the International Space Station. The 6 crew members now will set about to conduct a traditional safety briefing to ensure that they understand the passageways, evacuation routes to their respective Soyuz vehicles, as well as other safety procedures. The Soyuz systems will be deactivated with the Soyuz having been placed on International Space Station power for the duration of its stay, linked up to the Rasphet module of the International Space Station. To recap, the arrival of the new crew, which launched 2 days ago from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, Oleg Novitskiy, Peggy Whitson, and Thomas Pesquet, with a flawless 34-orbit 2-day rendezvous that brought them to a docking to the Rasphet module of the station at 3:58 p.m. Central Time on Saturday, 4:58 p.m. Eastern Time. About 3 hours later, the hatches opened between the Rasphet module and the International Space Station, and the new trio floated on board to join Station Commander Shane Kimbrough and Russian cosmonauts Andrei Borisenko and Sergei Ryzhikov, who have been on board for the past month. So Expedition 50 is now rounded out to a 6-person crew. A busy, busy time ahead in the next few weeks over the holidays and into the new year for this 6-person crew, with the next major activity just 48 hours away, that being the detachment and release of the orbital ATK Cygnus cargo craft that arrived at the station last month. It is docked at the moment, berthed to the nadir or Earth-facing port of the Unity module of the International Space Station. It has been grappled by the station's Canadarm2 robotic arm. It will be detached early Monday morning and released by Shane Kimbrough, backed up by Thomas Pesquet from the station's cupola as they operate the station's robotic arm to release its grasp on the Cygnus cargo craft. Our coverage on Monday morning of the Cygnus departure will begin at 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. The release itself scheduled at 7:20 a.m. Central, 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time on NASA television on Monday morning. Cygnus will drift to a safe distance away from the station for its deorbiting. That will be conducted by the orbital engineers based on the Orbital ATK Control Center in Dulles, Virginia. It will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere on November 27th and burn up harmlessly over the Pacific Ocean. So that'll be our next major activity for the International Space Station on NASA television. But for now, Expedition 50 rounded out, all 6 crew members safely on board, following a flawless rendezvous and docking of the Soyuz MS-03, bringing Oleg Novitskiy, Peggy Whitson, and Thomas Pesquet to the station to join their trio of counterparts, Shane Kimbrough, Andrei Borisenko, and Sergei Ryzhikov. With that, we'll complete our coverage of the arrival of the new crew members to the International Space Station. We thank you for joining us throughout the evening, and we wish you a good weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday morning for the release of the orbital ATK Cygnus craft. For now, this is Mission Control Korolyov.